Hi there, this is Jacob Nash Algebra Lessons, and this is Unit 4, Lesson 12. Sorry about that. On how to multiply polynomials. So when you multiply polynomials, you basically just do the same thing that you've been doing. So, like, remember at the beginning of Algebra 2 when we learned about how to, like, FOIL and things like that? We already did that anyways for, like, factoring and stuff like that. But this is just in terms of polynomials. But here's what you need to know. This is what happens when you multiply things. You multiply coefficients, obviously, because that's why it's called multiplying. So you multiply coefficients. I don't even know if I'll spell that right. Coefficients. I don't know. Sorry if that's not spelled right. You multiply coefficients, and you add powers. Well, we'll just say exponents. You add exponents. So that's what you do. And you can see when we go to dividing, it's the opposite. You subtract exponents and you divide coefficients. But that's not what we're doing in this one. That's the hardest thing. But multiplying, it's a little bit harder than adding, subtracting, but it's really not that hard. So let's look at an example of what we would have. So let's just have one where we would distribute. How about 5x to the 4th power times 3x, x to the 2nd power plus 5x plus 6. So obviously, since something's by the parenthesis, you always multiply. So we multiply and distribute. So we look at those things above. You multiply coefficients, add exponents. The coefficients are 5 and 3. That means you multiply them, so you get 15. And then you add the exponents of the x's. So we have 4 and 2, so that means it's x to the 6th. So you might accidentally think x to the 8th. Don't do that. That would only be if it was this. Then you would actually multiply the exponents, but that's not what we're doing. So then we have the second part. 5 times 5 is 25. X to the 1st times x to the 4th is going to be x to the 5th. And then 5 times 6 is 30. And then no x, so we just keep it x to the 4th. That's how you multiply like that. Simple. So you sometimes also have more than one thing that's you distributing. So how about let's do 2x squared times y squared times z squared. And then let's say we have 3x squared y plus 4yz plus 5. Okay, that looks crazy, and you don't have to FOIL for this one. That's not what you do. Since there's no... this is why you're not FOILing. Since there is no subtraction and addition signs between this, that means it's all one thing. So you multiply all that by these things. If it was like 2x squared plus y squared plus z squared, then you would have to FOIL, which I'll show you how to do that in a minute anyways, but that's not what you do. So let's see. So we just have to multiply coefficients and add exponents. So here's the coefficients 2 and 3, so we know we're going to have 6. Then we have to see what happens with the x's. So there's x squared, add them, and you get x to the 4th. There's a y squared, y to the 1st, so you get 2 plus 1 is 3. And then there's a z, there's only a z right here, no z on that part of the... You have to kind of separate this into two separate parts of the expression. So we have just z squared because there was no z for this part. Okay? Now, this is the second part of the equation. Or sorry, well, expression really. Okay, we multiply coefficients. 2 times 4, 8. Then no x on that part, so we just keep it x squared. And then there is a y and a z to the first. And then these are seconds, so they're both going to be thirds or cubes. Alright, and then all we have to do is, there's only a 5 here, so 5 times 2 is 10. And since there's no variables right here, you just carry that on. So, that's our answer. I'm not going to say it, but it's kind of a long answer. But that's how you would multiply something like that. But you do have to FOIL if both parts of the things that you're multiplying have pluses and minuses in them. So, how about this? We have something like this. Let's see what we would do. Okay, foiling. I've already said how to do this, but in case you haven't watched a video that I showed how to do this yet, FOIL, you call it that. It's really the same thing as the box method if you've done that, but this is just a better thing to me. That stands for first, outer, inner, last. So that tells you which things to multiply. So F, first. These are the first things. So once again, you multiply coefficients. 2 times 3 is 6. X times x, since they both have 1s on them, 1 plus 1 is 2. X cubed. Or sorry, not cubed, squared. Then O for outer. Here's the outer ones. 2 times 9 is 18, and then there's just x. Then I is inner, these two. That's going to be negative 33, and then x. Then last, you have those, and then that's going to be negative 99. So you have 6x squared, and then you have 18 minus 33, which is going to give you negative 15x minus 99. And that's your answer for multiplying that. So those are different ways that you'll have to multiply polynomials. And that'll be it for this video, and I'll see you on the next one about how to divide polynomials using 3 methods. So watch that video if you want to see that.